Okay, we're live. We'll wait a few more minutes until everyone's here and then we'll start. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome back to the DSC. This is our first event of the new semester. We're really excited to have you with us again. It's been a long break since the last semester, but we're finally back. So this session is actually an info session. It's not a long event. It's actually quite short, and it will just be there to serve as an informational session about the solution challenge. So the solution challenge is something we've mentioned briefly before, the very first time we had an info session last semester. And it's basically a type of Google competition. We'll get into more details in a second. And we just want to give some information about this challenge, how the competition is going, what are the deadlines, what are the requirements, and see whether people are actually interested in signing up and submitting their projects. Now, we hopefully want to have multiple events regarding the solution challenge to guide you through the process of the competition. But at the end of the day, we want to tailor this semester's experience to your needs. So we will be checking to see if you're more interested in just plain old technical workshops or actually working on this. So never mind. So we'll get back to that later. So let's see, what do we have to talk about today? So this is basically what we're going to be discussing. We're going to discuss an overview of the solution challenge. Like we said, a Google competition. What is this competition? We'll get to it in a minute. We're going to talk about the prizes, how people, what would you get out of it, the judging criteria, so how people would be judged. It's a global competition, so how do projects get measured against each other? The timeline, so how the submissions will be and how things will take place in specific dates. Some videos, resources, FAQs, we'll have a Q&A as well, and then we'll look back at last year's challenge and see how we can build on that and really try to work for this one. Okay, so the solution challenge itself, what is it? It's prior to this year, it's always has been an annual contest presented by the DSC organization worldwide. So you know that we are a Google club, we're part of the Google developers ecosystem. And that ecosystem holds this competition every year. And basically, anyone from any DSC is encouraged to join the competition. What is the competition? It invites students to develop solutions for local community problems, meaning the problems being like, poverty, hunger, different problems within society, gender inequality, and all sorts of things. And then you would develop an app or a website or any tech or software product that uses Google technologies to help solve this problem. And you would submit it to this challenge, and people would come up with really interesting things. And then Google has its procedure for checking out, the different products, measuring them against each other, choosing winners. Winners, in the end, get global recognition. They get access to mentorship by Google experts. So we'll talk about this more in detail in a second, but basically, if you have a really good project, then employees at Google, actual software engineers at Google, will have actually will be mentoring you throughout the process of taking your app to the next level. So first, you build like a small, regular size product. Then if it's good, you would work with Google engineers to take that product and make it something really big. So that should be all, exciting and motivating, because it really is a one-time opportunity to have access to this type of mentorship with these really good engineers. So it's really something to look into. So yeah, that's how it's always been. You solve a problem for problem for your local community, and you do it through some Google technologies. When I say Google technologies, it doesn't necessarily mean your entire app has to be Google tech, but it's encouraged at least some of it to be. Android is a Google technology, so you can make Android apps, Flutter apps, which are cross-platform for both iOS and Android. Websites, you can use Angular, which is owned by Google as well, and all sorts of things. You can use maybe Firebase, which is also owned by Google, for your database, TensorFlow for machine learning, and finally, Google Cloud. So these are all different Google products that you may or may not want to use in your application. You submit it to this solution challenge, and then you wait and you see. Okay? So this challenge, usually every year, it starts in spring 2021. So now it has kicked off, and you are free to begin working on a project if you're interested. What you do is you solve a problem for a real business or organization or community. Now, we'll go into more detail on that in a second, because this year it's a bit specific. A single DSC may have multiple teams. So yeah, this is super important. We will not be working on an entire project كلنا as a DSC club. No, this isn't like how it works. Teams can be up to 4 people per team, and just the only condition, at least one of them يكون registered in a DSC chapter شي محل بالعالم. So you don't even need to be registered at DSC LAU. You can be registered at DSC AUB or a DSC in China. Whatever, it's fine. You don't even have to go study there. But just because you're registered as a DSC, you are automatically eligible to form a team and submit a product for this competition. And you must submit a real product. So when I say real product, basically you're not making, like, how should we say? Like, it's not just a small project. You are submitting a product that could one day be worthy of a startup or an NGO. So your app, for example, you should envision that this app could maybe one day be in the hands of thousands and millions of users. Or, okay, and yeah, so just think of it like that. It's a real product, it's industry level. So this is something that maybe you want to release one day, or have many people access it through a local NGO or organization. Okay, so that's really it for like the main rules. You have to submit a product, and you have to be in some way or another part of a DSC. You can be a DSC lead, a DSC core team member, or a normal regular member. And please just note that this is not related to club sign up at LAU. So when we do the sign up at LAU, you're signing up on the LAU level. But earlier last semester, we actually encouraged you to sign up on our platform. So by signing up on our platform, this is how you become a official DSC member according to Google. So if we actually, let me show you guys. Yeah, so this is the tab. So this is the our platform, and this is our like sort of website. By clicking join us, this is how you sign up for our club officially. So this is the Google platform for developer student clubs. You can sign up for our events here. You can view older events and things we hosted and stuff like that. So if you're interested in participating in the solution challenge, make sure to actually sign up here, because otherwise we cannot like ensure that you are officially a member. All right, so actually let's share this link. Okay. So yeah, these are the basics of the solution challenge. And the deadline to submit something is March 31st. Now, I know that in some cases it could be tough, given that, you know, we are like in the middle of kicking off the semester. There's a lot of pressure, there are a lot of deadlines, exams are starting. So it can be hard for a lot of people, which is completely understandable. And tons of people may want to prioritize their actual courses and everything over things like this. This is highly understandable. What I do encourage, however, is try to look at any of your past projects or projects you're working on for a specific course. For example, there's the software engineering course where you can submit a project by the end of the semester. Try to think if maybe this project can overlap with this solution challenge. So you do something for the community and then you submit it. Or maybe you worked on a project last semester and it's done. If it is, great. Honestly, that's great. You can simply just submit it, and you're highly encouraged to do so, especially if there's a Google technology here or there. So don't feel like you have to start now, develop a project from scratch, and submit that for the competition. Okay, so we spoke about the main points or rules about the solution challenge. What is different this year? This year, actually, they kind of narrowed it down just a bit. So before, it was simply solve any local community problem, and to do so, just build any product and fix it. This year, they're a bit more specific, and you have to solve a problem related to one of the 17 SDGs that the United Nations have. So the United Nations, they created these SDGs in 2015 to be achieved by 2030. And basically, they are like goals. So we want no poverty, we want zero hunger, we want good health, well-being, quality education, and so on. Now, the good part is that it doesn't really differ much from solving a problem for the local community, because basically any problem you can think of for the local community falls under one of these categories. So it's only a matter of choosing one of them and submitting for it. So if you do anything health related, that's a medical app or something, you can submit it to good health and well-being. Anything for the environment, there's tons of different ones for the environment. So yeah, so this is something to look into and something to take note of, because this year it's a bit specific. But really, at the end of the day, it's all the same. All right, so next up is prizes. Now, before actually we talk about prizes, let's see how you can register if you are interested. So I will share here. Okay, so here we have a registration form. It's just a typical Google form for the solution challenge. This form is not by us, it's actually by the DSC people. So by signing up here, you will be registering for the solution challenge. Now, this is not a binding registration, so you're not forced to submit something if you register, but you're highly encouraged. Registration is open until the deadline. So you can register now if you're interested, but also you can just wait and see if you produce something and then you register. Yeah, so I'm gonna send the link. And yeah, so I sent the link in the chat. So basically what you do is you enter your email, your full name, you choose which developer student club you are a part of. So to do that, simply you click on choose, you type Lebanon, and you can see here Lebanese American University B+ campus. It's fine if you're not from B+, you can be from any uni actually. Just choose this one to be submitting on behalf of our club. How are you associated with the SC? Are you a lead? Probably not, that's me. Are you a core team member or are you a regular member? So you can choose regular member or a core team depending on what you are. And then are you part of DSC at your own university or are you joining another one? So yeah, you are part of this one. And then you would choose which Google technologies you plan to utilize in your project. So for example, I want to make an Android app and I want it to have Firebase for the database. I want to use machine learning AI, maybe throw in some UI UX, and so on. So this can be any number of them. Again, it's not binding, so you can definitely choose to um, choose something now and then do something completely different later. Then you can choose which SDGs you're interested in solving. So you can even choose that you're not sure yet because you don't know. Or you can choose several of them. For example, I want to work on no poverty or climate action or gender equality or things like that. So you can choose all of them, you can choose several, and then you would narrow it down yourself and choose one. And finally, how confident do you feel actually about participating in this challenge? Well, depending on how much time you have, you can say that you're quite confident, you agree to the terms, and nothing. The next page is simply to just submit. So if you're interested, I highly recommend that you do go and register on this form, and then you would be able to receive different resources on your email and things to help you out and hopefully guide you through the process. Also, on that note, I want to highlight that us as a club, we are here for each other. So there's me, there's the core team, and then there's the entire community. Even if someone is not working on a product or a project, it's fine because we're all going to be helping each other. So if you're working on something, you have questions, you want to consult people, you want to talk to other developers, please note that the community exists for that purpose. We have a WhatsApp group now. You can definitely ask questions there or maybe even on our old Slack group. So actually, I'm gonna just stop a bit here for questions. So Yusuf, I'm gonna wait maybe a minute and let me know if there are any questions. By the way, please feel free to type your questions in the YouTube chat box and we'll take them up anytime we stop for questions and we would answer them, definitely. And you can always also send questions on the WhatsApp group if there's anything that's unclear or ambiguous.
No questions.
Okay, so let's resume the presentation. So we spoke about what the SDGs are. Hopefully this should be more or less clear. Also the main points about the competition. Now prizes. So let's see, what do you get out of actually submitting something for this competition? All participants receive a digital profile badge and an official certificate. This is something you can add to your LinkedIn. And this is so to maybe brag about having participated in this competition. Then the top 50 teams worldwide would receive customized mentorship from Googlers and experts to take their solutions to the next level. So this is what we were talking about before. We were actually saying that if you're in the top 50, what can happen is that they choose the top 50 products and then you would work one-on-one with actual Google software engineers to make your app a real-life product and actually scale it and make it available, make it able to be in the hands of millions of users. So this, in my opinion, is actually a very strong selling point because you would actually be talking to the best of the best in the industry, talking to them one-on-one and getting their advice on how to grow your app. Historically, with all these solution challenge entries from before, what often happen is that tons of these products ended up being their own startups and NGOs. This is how seriously these products get taken, and this is how large things can actually become for you. So if you're interested in entrepreneurship and you actually want to take a product to the next level, this is actually something to look into and think about, because it's an opportunity to get your idea, your startup, exposed to actual industry experts. Now, if you're in the top 10, so what happens is they give these 50 teams mentorship and then they improve their application. So into Hala, you're just going to be making, let's say, a student level app, and then you would improve it if you're in the top 50, if your idea is really good. And then the top 10 من هول ال 50 after improvement, they receive additional mentorship, swag, a years-long subscription to Pluralsight, which is like Coursera, where you can learn new skills, and the opportunity to showcase your solutions to Googlers and developers all around the world at a demo day. So the demo day happened in August, I believe, for last year, and we were able to see all the different people who won top 10 last year. The top 3 winners, they would receive a Chromebook, a coffee chat with a Google executive, so someone who's in a really high position at Google. You get to chat with them over a call, I believe, and really talk to them, and a feature on the Google developers blog. So there is a lot at stake here. If you are interested in any of these things, it's highly recommended that you actually look into this competition. Now, judging criteria. How will you be judged and evaluated? So how do they actually score these apps? So there's 2 main things. Impact, so how does this product help the community? Because now we're not just developing products here to make money, we're actually trying to help the community. And 2, technology, so the actual tech behind your product. Now, to talk about the technology part, does the solution implement all technical components needed to solve the challenge? So are you presenting a full-fledged app or website or product? And then there's stuff about your team. So has the team explained what Google technology they used and how they used it, how they ran their code? You will not be asked to go through your code, just the general design things that you followed and your design choices. And then you will be submitting a video demo. By the way, I forgot to mention this. The submission is only a video demo. You don't submit your code or the actual app or anything. You just submit a video. So does the video demo show the working solution and how a user will use it? And then how good is the video demo actually? And then how well your product and technical decisions for your solution are. So did you make good choices? Did you use a technology that's a bit maybe not that good, a bit outdated? You made a bad choice here. So this all depends, and you will be scored accordingly. And this will accumulate to up to 40 points. On the other hand, the impact is how you impact the community. 1, does it actually focus on one or more of the SDGs? And is it really obvious how it focuses on these SDGs? How effectively does the solution actually address the challenge? So we don't want to create a solution and then it just doesn't really help much. So this is here, it has 20 points. This is the most important thing. Is there evidence of a next step? So is the team interested in pursuing this in the future? Google has a startup accelerator program. So if you're interested and you show excitement about your product, that you want to take it to the next level, Google will be really into that and they will be really excited and score you well on this point. Is there evidence that the solution has been thoroughly tested with real users? So here you could maybe have a survey, you could have real users test it, you can film them using it. You just have to show them concrete evidence that actual real human beings have used your app. And then, is there evidence the solution was iterated upon based on user feedback? So let's say maybe you created version 1 and then users told you, here I would prefer having this, here I think this is useless, and then you change it based on that. This gets you tons of points. So be sure to look into that if you're interested. So this is the judging criteria. By the way, we will be sharing the slides after the session. So the timeline. So how will the timeline go? Also, please write your questions in the chat box if there are any. So how will the timeline be? First, this is the first phase. just join any DSC. So we gave you the link on how to join the DSC. Just join us online, and this way you'll be officially a member. Step 2 is register by submitting the form. We also shared the form with you. By registering, you're here guaranteeing that you will be part of this DSC. Then you form a team. The team can be between 1 and 4 people maximum. And 4, select a United Nations SDG. Then what you're going to do is that you're going to start with the designing and building process. So this is the technical part. You identify the solution that you want to make. So you decide what the project will be, and then you design front end, design back end. This here is up to you completely. And then you would test your solution and iterate. Iterate meaning every time you test, you find stuff you like or you don't like, you go back to it and you fix it, or maybe make it better. All right, now submission. Just record a demo video submitted by March 31st. The top 50 solutions will be announced in around May. Then the deep mentoring, so where you'll be talking to Google engineers, will be in May to June. The top 10 finalists will be announced in July, and the top 3 winners will be announced in August. And really, that's it. So this is the exact timeline for how things will be going. Now what we are in is we're in the get started and the design and build phase. So if you're interested, go ahead and register, and you can immediately start building before March 31st. Okay, so these are a bunch of overview videos. It's really the same thing that we have already discussed. Now we will be sharing these slides with you. So if you are interested, be sure to watch them because it will give you maybe a more in-depth look into how you can build a project walkthrough, or talk about the UN 17 SDGs. So no, okay, don't play. Okay. Another resource that we want to offer you guys is self-paced code labs. So you can use these code labs in the link in the slides to learn these different technologies. So before we were using quick labs, if you were with us before. Quick labs were like online labs that help teach you a skill on Google Cloud. These are a bit different. They're code labs. They help you learn how to code, basically. So there's Android basics in Kotlin, building apps with Flutter, and so on. So you would choose the topic that you like. You go, you learn it online, and this should help you in case you're lacking any technical skills for the challenge. Next is a design sprint. So this is not mandatory by any means. A design sprint is just a standard created at Google Ventures, so the Google program for startups. And it's like a way for you to actually building a product. So understanding your users, then defining what you need, sketching, deciding prototyping, validating, and there are detailed things for every single one of these. Now, what we want to do and are hopefully planning on doing is scheduling a design day. So a design day, we will be walking through a presentation and helping you how to brainstorm and design your products. So what we would do is we would give a presentation, talk about design principles, like how to come up with the right solution, how to test it, how to get user feedback. This is the stuff that Google is really into and really cares about and really wants to see that you did your design in a scientific way. You didn't just write stuff and come up with something. So hopefully we will be hosting an event like that soon, maybe within the next 10 days, like first week of March. And through that, you will get help with kickstarting your project and actually getting started out there. But at the end of the day, this all goes back to your feedback. So we want to see how interested you guys are in the solution challenge and what type of help you're interested in getting from us. So basically, do you want technical workshops, or do you want us to maybe all work on our projects together? So we will be talking more extensively about that on the WhatsApp group and getting your one-on-one feedback. The other thing is you will find the tutorial videos in these slides. So the tutorial videos look like this, and it will help you by identifying a problem that you need to solve, identifying the solution. So now there is a problem. Let's say the problem is poverty. Solution, my app will do this and this, and it will help solve the issue of the growing issue of poverty in Lebanon. So these videos should help walk you through the process. Another thing is how to design the interface. So a good product must have a good UI. It must look pretty and work really nice and have a good user experience. And then how to design the technology, so the back end, how it will work. These are all tutorials that should hopefully help you, and you will have access to them through the slides. So no, don't play, okay. Another thing is that you can also receive online support and mentorship. So we said that we are here for you as a club, and we offer our help. And if you have any questions, we'll all work together and work on our projects. Under different circumstances, if we weren't in lockdown, it would have been really nice to actually get together in one big room and everyone is coding and working on their projects. Hopefully we get to do that next year. But for now, everything is virtual. So like we said, we are here for you, but you can also join the global community. So Parthian allows you to join a global community. It's quite similar to like Discord or Slack, or like there are multiple channels and different chat possibilities. And you can join on it, and you can actually talk to people submitting and working on the solution challenge worldwide, seeing their ideas, seeing resources. You can see here like Android, web development, AI, machine learning. So you can see different resources for different things. And you register using this link on this slide. And this is where you can actually ask questions, get advice, and talk to other people and be part of a larger community. So yeah, this is another perk. You don't obviously, it's not mandatory to join if you're submitting, but it's something that is there. Finally, this is actually a perk of the challenge. If you want to use Google Cloud, you actually may want to, you may need credits. So, you know, Google Cloud works on money. You have credits, and then you spend those credits by using the cloud and exploiting it. So you can request and redeem up to $50 of Google Cloud credits. So you go to this link, the form, and you mention that you're interested, and then your team must be maximum of 4 people, and then they will send you an instruction on how to request and redeem your cloud credits. Also, you do not need a credit card for these credits, so you can activate them without a credit card. Be sure to look at the link if you're interested and you want to use Google Cloud in your project. Finally, so here I invite you to please write in your questions in the chat box so we can actually answer them. Now, other frequently asked questions: can my solution solve a problem outside the scope of the 17 SDGs? No, this is required. It has to be for one of them. Now, like I said, it's quite easy to actually like check this box because, you know, like most of the problems will be available in the 17 SDGs. Can one student or team submit with multiple submissions? No, limit one entry per person. So if you are part of a team, you cannot submit for anything else outside that team. One submission only. Can I still participate in the solution challenge if there's no DSC? Now this doesn't apply to you obviously, but like we said, you can join any DSC online and submit with them. And then, will the judges consider the implications of social distancing and, you know, our ability to test with users was impacted? Yes, they will. They said they will surely be mindful, and this includes the ability to meet as a team, ability to have users test the solution, lack of internet access or proper developer environments due to displacement from your campus. So they know this, and you can talk about this in your submission. This is definitely okay. You can also mention how bad the internet is, for example. And yeah, these are some winners from last year. You can watch these videos if you're interested, but we can't talk about some things that they did. In Germany, there was a free speak. It was one of the top 10. It uses machine learning and video audio to help analyze how you present and give you tips. So you know how people may be scared of public speaking? You practice in front of this AI and it gives you tips on your body language, on your voice, on your posture. It's a really nice thing. In the US, they did a Corona AI, and it's something that you wear around your chest and uses electrodes to extract real-time images of your lungs and connects to the doctors so they can see, so they can examine you. Other things, like there's tons of these, so you can actually check them out. So PyCare, an Android app that connects caregivers with the elderly in Hong Kong, and then you actually, like, caregivers can actually talk to the elderly through the app. Worthy Walk, it encourages users by being healthy by walking, running. So these are all really nice topics. They're I would say at our uni we make this level of projects for some courses. So really do look into maybe doing this or submitting an old project. Okay. So last year they said that they really enjoyed working on different Google technologies like Android, Flutter, Google Cloud Platform, Firebase, and TensorFlow. All right, and this is a video of the demo day of last year. You can watch last year's projects and see the top 10 and their products and get maybe inspired. All right, okay. So that's really it from our side. We can't wait to see what you guys build or what our club builds, and we want to see the different things that you have and we want to answer your questions and be part of the community. So do let us know if you're interested. Do let us know if you're maybe excited by this idea or not. And please leave your questions in the chat box. Do we have any questions so far?
No questions yet.
Okay, so from our side, that's really it. Let's wait a couple minutes if someone has any questions, and if you do, we'll answer them. Otherwise, we'll be ending the session. Okay, since there are no questions, then I guess we'll end the session here. Feel free to reach out to us on WhatsApp or on Slack if you have any questions. And we'll see you hopefully in our next event, and hopefully we'll see some exciting projects from you guys. Thank you and bye-bye. So let me stop the stream.